Welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. This is Jeremy Fouts, and today we have a very special guest on with us today, a very successful eight-time multi-figure millionaire with us, Jason Watson. Jason Watson has built a very successful flooring business, and now he also owns a company called WatsonWarriors.com. You can go there and he'll give you the explanation of what he's doing, but he's really just focused on helping construction workers that have a business that's having success, but don't know really how to take it to the next level. I encourage every one of you to go check out his Instagram official, Jason Watson, over 138,000 followers. And the man is a 49-year-old, a physical fit, jacked guy. I mean, Jason, you and I both know at our age, I'm 49 as well, so I can relate the amount of time and discipline that it takes for you to be able to accomplish that. But a multi-8-figure founder and mentor, alpha leader for sure. And he has built a business and a legacy that he is going to be able to pass on for generations to come. So Jason, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on today's podcast. Let's just start by letting the audience know a little bit more background about you and kind of walk us through your journey, you know, from your early stages of your career to becoming a multi-8-figure earner in the flooring business, to all the different things that was pivotal decisions for you and moments that really shaped, you know, who you are today.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me on here. Super excited to have this conversation. And so I'll start with, first of all, I am 49. I'll be 50 in August, so I'm like 3 months away from the big 50. I've got a wife, been married 9 years, been together 15 years. She's a lot younger than me, so that's part of my reason why I've got to stay in shape, right, and make sure I'm around for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. So I waited later in life to have kids, and that worked for me. You know, there's pros and cons to doing it early or later.
And you got to stay in shape to be able to keep up with them when they get older.
That's right, man. That's really my purpose in life is my family. That's everything for me. Nothing trumps that. But how I got started in the business, really, you know, when I was 14 years old, first of all, I grew up poor. We didn't have any money. My mom pretty much raised us. My dad was in and out, you know, jail and things like that. Did absolutely everything wrong. So I learned as a kid very early, as I was paying attention, of what not to do. And I think that was the biggest lesson that I learned growing up, is as I watched how we struggled, you know, through life to make ends meet. And, I was just determined. I've always been kind of very determined person. You know, I like to win. And I've got an obsessive personality as well. So when I started my business, honestly, it was purely out of to make money. I wasn't a school guy. Like, I graduated high school. That's it. I don't even know how I got out of high school, but I graduated, no college. Basically, learned how to install floors, you know, with my dad, working in the summers a lot, when I was, 14, 15, 16. And then when I got out of high school, man, I went straight to trade schools. I pretty much knew, well, first of all, you know, a lot of times we grow up, like, we end up doing what our parents do, right? And so the only thing I knew back then was what my dad did. Like, I didn't know of all the other industries or, you know, things that you could do in life, because again, it wasn't my environment. I wasn't around that. Right. So it was like construction. Right. So it was, you know, I asked him one day, like, how much money can I make if I learn how to do this? Because everything at that point was about money. And he told me, he's like, well, you can make $1,000, $1,500 a week if you learn this trade. And I was like, well, how long will it take me? 2 years. Okay, perfect. And I had someone in my family kind of living the lifestyle that I wanted at the time, which was, I guess someone I looked up to was my cousin. And he had the life. He was older. He had the life that I'm like, man, if I could get what you have, I'll be successful. And one day I asked him, like, how do I get what you have? You get the nice house, the nice car. And he's like, well, you could probably get this for $1,500 a week. So I connected the dots when he said that. And then my dad said, you could do this in 2 years and make this. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And that's really how I got into the business. And I became obsessed with the flooring trade. And I went to, at 18 years old, I went to trade schools. I paid my own money to go to these schools, learn the trade. I practiced every night in the apartment we lived in, cutting material, cut up the walls. Like, I was just become obsessed, but I really, really was passionate about the trade. And most people that get in the trades aren't very passionate necessarily about what they're doing. They're doing it because they have to, or their dad did it, right? But I actually saw the vision and what I could actually make out of this if I actually learned what I was doing. And then I watched other people in the business, and there was a handful at the time that, it had multiple trucks, multiple guys. I'm like, man, this is cool. If I could have 2 trucks, so I could, make some money. And so again, the purpose at first was to make money because my goal was to take care of my mom and that. And I've been doing that since I was 14 years old. I've been paying the bills for her forever. She's 74 now. Just moved her to Arizona as well. And that was my focus as a kid. Honestly, it was just to make money. As I grew and I started to realize, like, in order to build anything big or scale my business, because I was doing all the work at the time and I was crawling around on concrete for 15, 16 hours, 7 days a week. But man, I absolutely loved it. Like I could not get enough, but it got to the point to where I was, I couldn't hardly walk. I was going to chiropractors and they're like, son, if you don't do something different, you're not going to be doing this. And this was in my 20s. Like that's how much I was working. And I was making a lot of money at 20 years old too, more than most people make today at 20 years old because I knew a craft. And then I started to self-develop, started reading and really paying attention to people that were at a different level. And I realized like you have to have a team. You have to be able to duplicate your efforts in order to make anything substantial, right? And so I started reading a lot, building my team out, which was difficult, right, to do that. And then it turned into the empire that it is today. But honestly, it took me until recently, the past 2 years, to actually get out of that business. Like people think, well, it's been a dream. No, people don't realize like I did the business at first because I needed to make money. Now I don't do the business I don't do anything because of money. That's not the first priority.
Right.
But that the business almost killed me, right? It takes, people don't understand when you're an entrepreneur, it sounds cool, right? You have maybe you have a nice car, a nice house and all that, but they don't realize the pain and suffering that you've had to go through to get to this point, because most people wouldn't do what I've done. It's when I look back, honestly, I'm like, man, how did I do these things? Because it was rough. I mean, I'd be in the hospital every 3 months, looked forward to it because I would be so stressed out, had ulcers, my stomach would get inflamed. Like it was just, I would literally like pass out at night. I'd be so like stressed and overworked. And my wife would have to call the ambulance and come get me. And I would just go through these phases of like for years. And I didn't like anything about my life. I made good money so I could take care of my family. But Jason was a miserable person. And a lot of people didn't realize that because they were just looking at the outside in, and that put on this front that, life is good. And again, from a financial standpoint, it was good, but everything else was bad. And that's when I started really understanding like, this is not sustainable. I don't want to live the rest of my life just making money and not being happy. And so that's when I started becoming more and more obsessed with self-development and really developing my skills as a leader and really focusing on building the team that I have today that pretty much the business runs without me. And it really did not happen. The reason it took me so long to do that, and this is what I teach other people, is if you don't become the person you need to become, you're not going to get the life you think you want. And so I was a micromanager. I wanted to be the solution to every problem. I controlled everything. But with doing that, you keep yourself in the hamster wheel, you keep yourself in the business, and you run off good people in the process, because good people are not going to work for someone that's going to micromanage and tell you how to do all the steps or tell you I did it this way and I want you to do it that because I did it that way. And so once I shifted my mindset, my perspective on how I'm leading my company and just the way that I think about my team today is like, it's a light year. It's totally different than what it was of how I got here. I struggled and fought to get here. If I had to do again, if I was broke tomorrow, I could get it back in 2 years and it wouldn't be with me doing all the work. It just wouldn't be, right? Because I have a different mindset and philosophy around how to actually grow the business. So yeah, I mean, it's been a ride. And part of that too is, like I said, developing leaders within the company is the only way. If you're trying to grow a business, you have to develop leaders within inside the organization. You Absolutely. Can't be the only leader in the company, so that needs to be your focus. If you're an entrepreneur and you're actually trying to get out of the day to day, you got to first be honest with yourself. Some guys just want to control everything, right? It makes them feel good, their ego. And you got to put your ego aside and say, what do you really want out of life? What are you trying to build? And first off, if you're building a business and you're in the business every day, it's not really worth anything. And so we have plans of selling the business one day. Well, it's if you're in the grind and you're the guy, like your business really just isn't worth anything. So it's really coming down to thinking about what is the long-term vision and what are you trying to do with your company and your life, and really getting super clear on that. And so that's when I made those shifts and, developing myself and then pouring into my team. And that's really my focus today, is how do I help every one of my team win? This is where this is where everything changed for me. When you help your team win, you will win. If you focus on you, you'll win, but you'll stay in the hamster wheel forever and you'll lose good people. Whereas if I help you win personally, professionally, and financially, And everybody in my company has a way to do that. They have a comp plan, every single person. And it's tied to the mission and vision that I've set. And so if I help them win, I win. I don't need to focus on that. I focus on everyone else. And that's really the secret. And if people can understand that if you can serve others first, you can build a big business. You actually make more money and you'll do a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's the one reason you've had the success, Jason, is, like I told you, I've been studying personal development, for years and years, and I made my millions in a nutrition business. And the reason I made my money is because I helped others have success. And that listening to you, and I know you, and I've been following you for years and have seen what you've done, but that is a big key to the reason that you've had success is you put your emphasis on helping other people be successful, not just thinking about what's it's going to be for me. How can I make the environment right? How can I, help them grow financially? How can I help them grow as a person? And man, it's phenomenal that you got that, because most business owners, like you said, they're always want to be involved. They always want to control people.
Yeah.
They won't let someone go to the bathroom without saying, where you at? What are you
Yeah.
doing? All those
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about business growth and scaling, I mean, you've already answered the first question that I was going to ask you, which was what was the turning point that helped you scale from smaller business to a larger operation? I mean, you answered the reason why is because you didn't want to be on your knees 24/7. But what was the turning point that helped you really kind of put everything together and go from a small business to a larger business?
Yeah, I think it was building my team, and it was getting reflecting back on myself on how I was, why was I losing good people through the process of building the company. And you have to start over again and train, and then you do it again, and you're like over and over again and just wearing yourself out. And honestly, like, people think it's crazy, but it's the more I self-develop and the more I got around other people, this is what I think the key is. Like, if you self-develop like crazy every single day, because that's all I do. I don't watch TV. I don't do any of that. I'm not saying any of that's bad. That's just not what I choose to do. Because to me, it's a distraction on where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm same way.
And
If I'm working out, I'm listening to something that's going to help me
right,
grow.
right. And I've had coaches throughout my career too. I've always paid to get around people that could give me one nugget. Like, I'll pay for one nugget. And I don't try to get it for nothing, right? This is where a lot of people go wrong too, is they're not willing to cut the check for speed. What I've learned over the years, if you can get around the right people and pay to get in the rooms, because you're not going to get in certain rooms if you don't pay. The mentor that I have today, the reason I moved from North Carolina to Arizona is because of one guy. Moved my family across country to get closer to this one guy. Well, I had to pay to get in the room first to get to know this guy. Now we become friends. But if I never paid to get into the room, you would never get access to. You're never going to get access to certain people. It's just not going to happen. They're not just going to go have coffee with you once they get to a certain level. It's just not going to happen. And I understand now, being around them, why they can't, right? Because they have a community of people that are paying to be in the rooms. They have a network, they have their business, they have their family. Like, there's not a lot of time, to waste, right, with just random things. And so, getting back to your question, I think it was really getting clear on what I was good at, what I was not good at. What did I really want out of life, right? I got out of the way of my ego and saying, oh, I'm the guy, right? I'm the man. I could solve all the problems. I don't want to do that anymore. Like, so I've just got exhausted. And again, the purpose in life for me, honestly, like, the reason I even started social media, which was about 1.5 years ago, I never was on social media, is I get more satisfaction out of helping someone else win than me win. Like, and that's kind of my purpose going forward. Why I started, coaching people is, man, there's no better feeling than someone saying you helped change their life, or you help them, lose weight or grow their business, or just in general, like the impact and the fulfillment that I get from this. My other company, it's construction, right? You do a good job, be on time, and don't hit them with but change orders and do quality work. There's not much emotion in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And with this, I'm able to impact people. And so my mission now is I want to impact millions of people. I want to show them what's possible, that you don't need education. You don't need any money, because I had neither. And I've done it myself, like, all because I've self-developed. I've spent money on myself more than I have anything else. Right. And I paid to get into the rooms around other people. That shifted my mindset, my perspective. And once you change your perspective, everything changes. And so people could just understand, dude, like, and they say they don't have money to get in the rooms, and yet they're buying, 10 Starbucks a week, or they're buying a new pair of shoes. And like, most people could afford to buy something, even if it's a $200 course, right? Or read a book is for, buy a book for $10 or get it for free online. Like, people make excuses, because they don't really want to put the work in, right? And so I tell everybody, there's four things you can get anything in life. One, clarity on what it is you want. Most people don't know that. Let's be honest. They're everywhere and nowhere, and they don't really get clear on what it is they want. Then you got to have the right skill set, develop the skill set. So read, what is it? Develop the skill set. Then you need to know the right people. You got to be around the right people. Who you're around will determine the life you have. It's simple.
Absolutely.
Right? Period.
100%.
Like the easiest way to get anything is get around people that are doing it. You want to get in shape? Hang out with me or hang out with you for 30 days. You don't need to know anything about nutrition training. You'll just be a better version of yourself in 30 days if they're hanging around someone in shape or someone that's running a big business or someone that's having a great marriage. And that's it. And so I tell people, this is hard. They don't want to get away from the circle they're in because they've known them for 20 years. They feel bad and they're sacrificing their own life for other people. And I tell people, like, the people that I'm around, my circle is very, very small.
Mine too.
It's about, okay, what your faith, whatever that is for you. So are you talking about your faith? Are you talking about building your business finances? Are you talking about how to be a better dad? Are you talking about how to be a better husband? Are you talking about how to build networks of relationships? Like, if you're not talking about those things, then we're not going to hang out. Doesn't mean I don't love you. You're just not going to be in my circle because we're not aligned on where we're going. So if you know where you're going, you put guardrails on, and you shouldn't let anything get in the way of that, because anything getting in the way of that is a distraction. And man, if people could just understand that and stop doing all the things that you're doing and get clear on what you want, get around the right people and read books every day, your life would change.
Absolutely.
That's what happened to me. This is my story. There's nothing better than self-developing and spend money on yourself. I will spend money on myself until the day I die. I will never have it figured out. There's always someone at a different level. It just keeps going. And when you read and you get new information, things change. You get a new perspective. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. Let me go implement this thing. Right. And so to me, self-development has changed my life, and getting around the right mentors, which I have one now. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of went off.
It answered it perfect, Jason. I mean, and that's the thing that, when I'm talking with people, I try to give them those same things. It's like, look, man, it's not life that's beating up on you. You got to get rid of that victim mindset. You got to change you. It starts with you. And what are you going to invest in you? I mean, I'm a pilot as well. And I'm not going to go through the whole story and take time from this podcast, but there's a YouTube video I watched years ago, and it talked about someone calling into the call center and said, I'm in a little Cessna and I'm at 10,000 feet. And the next thing you know, someone's in a bigger plane, they're at 20,000 feet. And it goes on forever to basically a jet F-22 Air Force that's at 90,000 feet. So there's always someone. So why not us look and say, what are those people doing to be successful? Most of them are not at happy hour. Most of them are not not at the movies. I mean, they're working on self and trying to be the best that they can be on a daily basis. 100%. Man.
That's right, man.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's the flooring business, nutrition business. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's right.
It's right here between the ears. All right, let's get started talking about watsonwarriors.com.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's basically where you have said, you know what, I've had some success. I love, the flooring industry, but how can I take this knowledge and wisdom and go help others? And you have basically said, my goal is to help other construction, companies, other business owners that really don't understand what it takes to grow to that next level. And also some of the things that you need to teach them to avoid that you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about watsonwarriors.com.
Yeah. So basically, when I started the coaching business, which, it's been, I don't know, almost a year, I guess we've been, it's a slow process building it up. And part of that's me figuring out, that what I'm doing, and because I've never really done it at any kind of big level. But yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, I just want to help millions of people, right? Impact millions of lives, and through my experience. And if someone's in the construction space or if they're just a high level entrepreneur, right? Because like you said, it doesn't matter if it's flooring or what it is, like you get the same business principles. And so really just being able to help people, whether it's grow your business, whether it's, getting in shape. I mean, most people probably come in for fitness because that's what more or less they see. And then once they get in, they realize like there's more to me. Like I'm not, a fitness guy really. Like I'm a business guy that has a passion for fitness, and I understand how that's impacted my life. And it's why I'm so passionate about staying in shape and teaching other people how to do it. But it's really, we started because we want to help other people, man. And so I want to create a movement, a community of people. And again, a lot of the reasons why I'm wanting to, it's like, how do I help people get it all? I'm on this journey where I'm trying to get, health, wealth, love, happiness. Like I want the whole thing. I don't just want the finances. I have a lot of people that I coach that have money, man. They're miserable everywhere
Yeah.
else.
Yep.
And again, it started out for me. I needed to make money. There was a reason for that. But now it's like, I want it all. I am like obsessed with being the absolute best version of myself in every area of life, like best husband. Like when I'm not here anymore, or there's going to be a hard time for someone to step in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like in the
Yeah.
same, I want my kids to look up to me and respect me. And so the reason why I'm so passionate, the reason why I think I'm on this path is because I didn't have any of it as a kid. Like that's the reality of it. I didn't have nothing was good. Nothing in my life was good. My mom was great. She tried the best she can, but nothing in my life, everything was a freaking struggle. And so now that I've figured out a lot of it, again, I'll never have it fully figured out, but I just want to help people like cut time frame off. Like if you're trying to do something, again, find someone that's doing what you're doing, living the way you want to live, and figure out how to get close to them. And that's why I started. Honestly, it's just I really want to help other people. And when I'm teaching, it helps me become better. Like every time I'm even talking to you, like it's just reiterating things that I need to be aware of and pay attention to in my life, because my life's not perfect now. It never will be. No one's is, right? I'm trying to improve every day, and I have struggles just like everyone else. But it's just like I could talk about it all day. Like I could literally talk about this all day. And so I just want to help other people, man. That's what it comes down to.
That's what it's about, Jason. I did a podcast this past Monday release, and I talked about the everyday fight. And I mean that's what we are in, a fight every day.
Mm-hmm.
What are things we need to work on? Are we winning today or are we losing? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just continuously getting better throughout the day. I know we've touched on fitness, and I want your opinion on this. I work with a lot of athletes trying to, put on weight, get faster, get stronger. I work with a lot of middle age. I don't have what you call a coaching business, right? Or I'm trying to go look for people, but people come to me often, say, hey man, help me with my fitness, help me with this. And obviously, I own a nutrition company, and I love that. I'm just like you. I mean, my wife knows on Sunday afternoon, I'm building 50 meal plans, and she's like, why are you doing that? I just love it. I love making a difference in people's lives. But I got to ask you a question here. How does your fitness routine impact your business success and mindset? I know we've talked a lot about mindset and personal
Yeah.
development, but the reason I ask this question is, as well as I do, a lot of people that own that business are like, man, I ain't got time to go to the gym. Man, I don't have time. And how could you give them a message of saying, dude, you can't afford not to? I mean, and how it's really impacted who you are today, just the fitness
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah. Well, first off, I see this a lot is most people spend the first half of their life chasing wealth and sacrificing their health. They spend the next half of their life spending their wealth on their health. This is what goes on, right? And so I tell people like the when you take care of your body, like it's your temple, right? It's everything. And I can tell you for me, being in great shape for the past 15 years, similar to where I'm at, right? It's been consistent. Is if I wouldn't have been in this kind of shape to build my business, I don't think I would have been able to do it. And the reason being is one, I had the energy and the brain power to function every day because I fed myself with nutritious food, right? So I was just able to work longer and work harder and go through the stress that's involved in a business. Like it's very stressful, right? And through all the things that I've done, I've always made a point to get to the gym. And half the time, like I don't want to go to the gym either. I don't
Right.
always want to go to the gym,
Right.
but I
Right.
go because it's my standard. It's my identity. Anybody that knows Jason knows that like this is who I am, right? It's like I'm going to take care of myself. I'm the guy that I'm going to just I'm just different, right, than most people, right? So it's my identity. It's my standard. I don't negotiate my standards. But what fitness taught me when I was learning is the routines and the discipline that you need in order to get an elite physique, especially being our age, right? You don't get to this level if you're not doing things consistently. The reason people don't get results is typically not the plan. It's not the coach. It's you, right? Because what's keeping you from where you're at to where you're going is discipline. It's in the middle. And if you don't have it, you're not going to get it in anything in your life. You're not going to be at the top, right? So, but having those routines, forcing yourself to go to the gym, that's where I built my mental capacities. Like just doing something that's hard, even when you don't want to, right? It's like, do what's hard, life will be easy. Do what's easy, life will be hard. Like it's that thing. And so I understood that early, and I felt better every time I worked out, even though I was having problems and, I was working long hours. I always made a point to go to the gym
Yes.
and do the walks because it's an excuse. Like you can be on a call and you can walk. Like, and again, if you don't have but 3 days a week, like you can still be in great health, right? You don't have to do the 5 days. I do 5 days, but like, hey, if you got 3 days and you can get up and move your body, people just make excuses, right? Just do that, eat quality food, and be consistent with it and quit making excuses. Yeah, I mean, fitness, if I wouldn't have been in shape, I don't think it would have happened for me. And I think I would have started having other problems, that maybe people that's not in shape, when you get sick and they don't recover, it's because they just don't have the juice inside their body to like keep them, to get them up again. You know what I'm saying? So for
Absolutely.
me, it was everything. Like
Yeah.
it's helped me get in more doors than anything else. Period. Like there's nothing that gets me in the door more than, and you
Physical
don't have to
fit.
say anything.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if you walk in a room, no one knows if you had money or not, right? But if you walk in the room and you're in shape, people are going to automatically think something in 1 second. They're going to be
Yes.
like, who's that guy? And then they're going to want to go talk to you. And then it's going to open up, what do you do? And then it just starts turning into this. And this is what's happened. This is what's happened the last 15 years of my life. And it's all because of fitness. People respect people that take care of themselves. And especially as you get older, it's harder. Right. And
Yes.
so fitness it's everything to me. The things that you need to do, the water, the training, the getting your proper sleep, all those things. I mean, it requires discipline, but that's taught me how to be disciplined in my business, right? Even though I'm not in the day to day now in my business, but like before, it's just like the more on point I was with my physique and body and my routines, the more strict I was. And I'm an obsessive guy, right? It doesn't have to be at the level of that, but the more I was, like the sharper I was in my business, the
Absolutely.
quicker I thought, the quicker I could solve a problem. And I credit it all to fitness. And a lot of people don't understand that because they've never really felt really good. Like I don't know what 49 is supposed to feel like, but I can go out here and run with a 20-year-old. I don't care what it is. Like I can do any of it. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. And
Yeah.
so to me, it's been everything for me. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. It's why I'm teaching my kids, like I wish I would have started earlier, but it's honestly like the greatest thing you can do is take care of your body. Everybody is a walking advertisement, as I tell them, right?
Yes.
You're a walking billboard. And
Yeah.
ask yourself, would you buy the advertisement that you're putting out there? And if the answer is no, which it is for most people, then you should change what you're doing.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I had a 20
That's the
something
way I
year
see
old.
it.
I had a 20 something year old the other day follow me on Instagram. He wanted to go work out with me and it was pretty bad, Jason. He couldn't keep up. But I
Yeah.
tell all the dads that I work with, I say, hey, the fit body is just a byproduct. What I love about it more than anything is what you was just talking about, what it does to me mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It just totally makes me feel like there's nothing that's going to come in front of me that I cannot accomplish. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
just makes you sharp as a tack when you
Right.
have the discipline to say no to a cookie. You eat more protein. You go to the gym 5 days a week. You
Mm-hmm.
hit it hard when you're in the gym. You're not one of
Yep.
those guys on the phone just scrolling through whatever.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, when I go in, it's a mission. And I
Yeah.
know I can tell by looking at you, you're the same way. Let's talk about leadership here. You obviously have learned from personal development and through your experiences how important leadership is, and you've touched on leader. But as
Mm-hmm.
a leader, what's some of the qualities that you're looking for? And I already know this answer because of listening to you. I know what you're looking for, but for the audience listening have not picked up on this. What are some of the biggest things you are looking for in leadership when you're building that team? And then next question is, how do you keep them motivated? Which you've already touched on that too, but we're revisiting this for the audience if they didn't catch this. How are you keeping them motivated and aligned with your business?
Yeah.
So what do you see in a leader? And then how do you keep them motivated and aligned?
Yeah, leadership to me, and everybody maybe have their own version. Leadership to me is the ability to influence others to get to the next, to become the best version of themselves, right? So it's bringing out the thing inside the other person that maybe they didn't think was possible. And so again, getting back to fitness, like your ability to influence other people, like your body is a big part of that. It is for me and my company. Like I can tell you that, right? So, but what I look for when we bring in people, and this is shifted too, right? I honestly, I like people like the underdogs, like the people that maybe had a little tougher upbringing than someone else, right?
Good.
Because that is why I am
They're
the way.
tougher.
Like I wouldn't change anything about how I grew up because it's made me who I am today, and I would not be here if it wasn't for that, because I was able to stress or going through discomfort and all those things like doesn't affect me because like I'm like, dude, I've already done this at 10 years old. Like, this is nothing. So I like people that come in with a little story behind them on, I always find out a little, how did you grow up? What do you do? Family and all those things. And you can kind of tell how someone is, right? And then, asking them, what their dreams and aspirations are, what their values are in life. Like, these are the things that I look for when people come into my organization. It's not just about your skill. Like, we can develop skill, right? We can develop that, but the
Absolutely.
type of person you are coming in, like, that needs to be on point for me. And it wasn't always the case before. It was like, if you can, sell, or you can fill the seat because I need someone here, you would get a job. And today it's more like, I want to know you personally. What are you about as a person? Do you value the same thing as I do? Do you have big dreams and big goals? Because I want people around me that want to win.
Yep.
If
Absolutely.
they don't want to win, they're pulling everyone else back. So having that winning attitude, that edge about them, that they want to just take over the world. I mean, that's what I'm looking for when we bring somebody on out. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. 100%, man.
You
I
know.
mean, when you get to be our age, Jason, you don't want to invest any time or money in someone if you don't see a long-term potential. And
Yeah.
like you
Right.
said, if you're hiring a salesman in the office, or if you're hiring someone that can lay tile, anybody can lay tile.
Right.
But is this someone that can learn how to lay tile, and someone that can move up to a management position, run a team of salespeople later that knows how to lay the tile starting there? I'm
Hmm.
absolutely on the same page. Makes
Yeah.
100%. Is this a
Yeah.
person that's going to steal from me? Is this a person that's going to show up, on time? Is this a person that's not going to show up? Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
you look for that values, who that person is in life, and the fact of they might not come from a good upbringing, but you know what? They might be tough as nails because of that, you know?
Yeah, and I found people that didn't come up that way, and they're well educated people. They have degrees and all these things, but man, they don't have the same fight.
Right.
They don't have the same fight. They don't have the same aspirations because they've already they didn't grow up that way, right? So there's magic in growing up. So people that are watching, if you grew up like really tough, like, congratulations. Like, this is going to shape you into the person that you need to become,
Right.
so you can conquer bigger things, right? And
Yep.
so, to me, like, it's like, if I get that person again, what are your values? Like, if we're not aligned there, we don't work together. That's because I'm not interested in that. Like, I had a guy one time that came in, and he missed his kid's birthday, and I let him go. And because I was like, dude, that's just not. He missed it for not a good reason. Like, so let me say that. Well, it was just something, like, it just wasn't right. And I had a bad feeling about it. And again, I didn't do my homework enough on the person before he came in. And it's just been a real focus now. It's like, I want good people around me only, because the other people are going to leave. They're going to leave eventually anyway. And then if they're coming in, and here's the other thing: if they're coming in just for money, why are you coming to work for me? Yes, money's important, but that can't be the only reason why you're here. Because if money's the reason you're here, you'll leave for more money,
Exactly.
right? So, there would be people on my team. It would be very difficult for them to leave and get more money, because there's a bond with us. There's a mission that we're on. There's a purpose behind it. And so I look for, that in people. Like, what you want, what do you want out of the company? Where do you want to go? Like, and then figure out how to help them get there. And then, to your other question of how do I keep them, I think, was the question, right?
Yeah, yeah. How do you
That
keep them
is,
motivated and align with your vision? Because
yes.
there's a lot of people, Jason, and being a business owner, I see it over and over. At first they like the job, they like you, and then next thing you know, you start compensating them a little more because they're good, and bonus them a little bit more. But that last part is the biggest thing, that to the question that I want the audience to hear is, then all of a sudden they're like, well, Jason, why don't we do it this way? Jason, why don't we do it this way? Jason, why don't they
Mhm.
start thinking that they know more than you. So yes, it's important to compensate them. You already touched that at the beginning of the podcast, that, man, it's not just about how much money I can make. It's how can I compensate them for their happy, keep them happy. But
Mhm.
that alignment part, how can I keep them aligned in my vision and what's best for the company?
Yeah, well, and you said it, like, first of all, helping them win in the process is part of it, right? Having the right metrics in place that tie into the vision, making sure everybody wins through the process, so it's not about you. That's one piece of it. I think the other key thing for me is diving deeper. Like, anytime we hire people, I get on and talk to them after they've already been basically, they have the skill set, but, like, I want to make sure that they're hitting the buckets and all those areas that I said of being fulfilled. Great marriage. If you're married, your kids and all those things. is I like to help them figure that piece out. I love just talking about that and helping them win and helping them understand, like, we just had this conversation last week. If your marriage is not on point, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. Like, and anyone that's married knows that. Even though you can put it off and you can fake it and go in, you're just not going to be very good. So having your relationship dialed in and being able to help them understand that and help them with situations, or help them, get in better shape, like we've done that in our company. Like, and it's just changed how we do things as in a culture, right? It's like, so focusing on them, helping them win, but helping them on a personal level. Like, they don't have goals. I'm going to help you set goals. How do we make sure you achieve them, long term, and just really getting them to think bigger picture, right? If you can help them figure out their life and help shape that and help them with that process, like, people will be loyal to you because you're truly trying to help them in other areas, not just about making money for the company. And honestly, that was the big shift for me. I mean, one of them was really just that, like, really trying to help them, in all these areas and being real about it, because I am real about it, and I believe it's the secret. Like, you got to get all of it, and it's hard for people to do that. So helping them that way, our team, everybody gets unlimited PTO, which people thought I was crazy. That's what I do. But when I did it, productivity went way up. People perform better. You get more done. The right people, right? The wrong
Right.
people will kind of weed themselves out.
Right. Some will take advantage of it, and they're going to be gone. Yeah.
They'll be gone, or you'll
Right.
know, right? Because the right players, they'll call you out. You don't even have to say anything, right? But when I did that too and give them flexibility, and it's like, we need to accomplish these things, and my customers are taken care of. We hit our metrics, whatever. Like, if you need to go get your hair done or your nails done or whatever it is, like, I don't really care. And I wasn't like that before. I was not like that before. Now we've got people who work at home. They work in a different state. Like, we're not micromanaging. There's just expectations you need to get done. I'll be flexible with you. Be flexible with me. Number one, make sure my customers are taken care of. Make sure we always operate within our core values. And if you do that and you go left and this person goes right, I don't care, as long as we do it the right way. And that's it. And treat it like a family. Honestly, that's when I made those shifts. That's when really my business started to change, and things started running a lot better. And then selling the vision all the time. As an owner, you got to sell the vision all the time. You need to be talking about your core values all the time. You need to be painting pictures, telling stories, getting everybody pumped up. Here's what we're going to go do, and here's how you're going to help us get there. And like, most people don't do that. I didn't do that before. And we're not perfect at it now, but to me, these are the little things that make the difference in the good and the great. Because I'm around some great companies now where I'm at, and this is what I see. Like, I study the great ones, and it really comes down to their culture and their team and how they operate as a team, as a unit.
Yes.
That is so key for building anything sustainable.
Jason, you built a phenomenal business. It's been awesome watching you build what you've built. And, when I really spend time with you, it just reminds me what the good book says. The only way to true happiness is find a way to serve others.
Mm-hmm.
And you are basically having that service mentality. How can I go help serve these? You're not bringing in employees saying, what can you do for me? You're like, hey, man, what can I help you with? Whether
Mm-hmm.
it be, make more income, help you with understanding fitness, helping you understand the personal development, the mindset, and what it takes for you to really see a vision for yourself, even if you're still working for my company.
Right.
So, I mean, what you've done has been incredible. I've got one last question for you.
Sure.
That's in vision. I mean, I could talk to you for days, man. And it's funny, like, when you're talking here, you gave me goosebumps a couple of times because, my business nutrition company is 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sometimes I even catch myself becoming a little lethargic, or, and you're bringing energy into me.
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, Jeremy, yeah, he's right. I need to talk about my vision more. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
this has been
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the last question I have is in regards to vision for the future. What's next for you and your ventures, and how do you see, what your life is going to unfold, whether it be more into the construction business, more into helping others just through coaching, and what's your big plan in life look like from here on out?
Yeah. So for the construction company, again, I'm not in the day to day anymore, so that's good. It's freed up my time to pursue my other passions. But we're on a heavy growth track there. We're getting ready to build it. We're in the West Coast. We're on the East, heavy in the East. We're in the West some. We're gonna be building out more in the West. So we're still planning to grow our empire there. We're looking at acquiring a couple other companies as well, different types of maybe like countertops or cabinets to go around the flooring piece, so that we already have these customers. If we bring these other companies in or buy these other companies, they're like, we can literally double and triple our business because we already have the clients, right? So instead of going after more flooring, we bring in counters, and now boom, our business can double just from that one service added to the portfolio. So we're looking at that. We've got a plan to be at 50 mil in the next, two years, probably 3 max with that company. And to keep, like, for me, I'm never going to stop. It's this, I want to run our business now. It's not a lifestyle business. We're running the business as if we're going to sell it. So we're making sure all the metrics and the ratios are in place, and books are clean, right? And I'm not taking things out of the company like I used to do, but it's running like a real business. And then making sure that we're, in the next 5 years, 6 years, if we do want to sell, whether we do or not, we're going to be prepared and positioned to do that because we're going to have everything in line. So that's the focus on that business, to continue to just really grow and build that team. We're hiring new people all the time. So we're always looking for someone, again, that can bring value, right, to the company. So, and then as far as the coaching business, which ties into the business too, right? But it's, I have a big vision to grow this into $100 million empire. And again, it's not the money. It's because I want to help millions of people. In order to do that, you got to have a massive team. So, right now it's a small team, but in the next, 12 months, it's going to look way different. It's, so my goal is to just scale and grow this coaching business, again, around fitness. We're looking to bring in, I'm getting ready to partner with, someone in the next couple of weeks, probably on the hormone side of things, so I can really tie it all together from a fitness standpoint, total health optimization that I'm working on, which I think is going to be huge. I tried to do it about 5 years ago and it fell on my face, but now I've got someone that we're aligned value wise, and we met at an event here, and the relationship is awesome right now. And so this is something I'm super excited about that's going to tie into this. Again, helping other entrepreneurs, construction people scale and grow their business. We have plans to do masterminds and, networking events and retreats and things like that to really help people get from where they're at to where they want to go. So it's a big vision, but everything's about helping everybody else. Again, that, I say that the revenue number, but it's about how many lives can I change? And so whether that's bringing team members on to sell or do whatever, like, I'm all about changing lives internally and outside in every aspect, right? So, and again, I'll be 50 in August. I feel like I've got more energy now than I had when I was 20 because I'm working differently. Right now, I'm more strategic about what I'm doing. I'm more clear on, okay, what's the next half of my life look like, right? Because I'm going to live to over 100. Like I'm gonna be that dude in the gym at 99 years old, lifting. So, I'm going to be around. Right. So
I had a guy ask me today in the gym, I don't mean to bother you, but how old are you? And I'm like, man, I love it when you ask me that. It don't hurt my feelings. I said, I want to keep going. He was 30-year-old. And I'm like, man, don't stop. Just keep on going.
Yeah.
Jason, I mean, it's incredible what you've done. You've took a startup business to a multi eight figure income, and what you're doing though, what I love about your message and who you are as an individual. And that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast to share with my audience, is everything you do is all about how can I impact others. And that's something that is rare to find in business. It's rare to find, for someone that really have the values and everything in line. So it's incredible what you've accomplished, and I 100% agree with you. We ain't stopping now. We're might be 49. You're going to hit 50 before me, but we're not stopping now. And that you're just now really getting started. I mean, it's crazy how,
for sure.
Used to, we thought 50 was old, 49 and 50, but now we're like, man, we're just not really. I mean, I wish I knew in my 30s, what I know now. I mean, now I can look at anything and I'm like, this is easy. We're in my 30s. I would stress about it. I would be, oh Lord Jesus, help me. But now I'm just like, no big deal, man. I've got this. So it's been an honor and a privilege to have you on and introduce you to my audience. Share with people again your Instagram handle, and then let them know how to get in hold of you the best way if they're looking for, coaching advice, whether it be, construction owner wanting to scale their business or whatever that they're looking to do. Go ahead and share with them the best way to get a hold of you.
Yeah. So my IG handle is official Jason Watson, right? So you can find me there. Also, we've got a number. I don't know it off the top of my head, but maybe we can put it in here.
Yeah, we can put it in the notes.
Number.
Yeah.
We can put it in the notes there, and they can reach out directly to a phone that I have. So that would be probably the best way. But you can also send a DM. We just get a lot of DMs, so sometimes they get missed. But we'll put the number in here and get it to you guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll put it in the note section. And Jason, you take care of that wife and those kids. And I'm going to be out in Arizona this summer. Hopefully, we can meet up.
Nice.
And
Absolutely, man. Would love that.
Arizona is a phenomenal place. So if
Yeah.
you're ever in Dallas, let me know as well. But it's an
Okay.
honor and a privilege to have you on, Jason.
Hey, thank you so much for having me as well. Really enjoyed this. It was an awesome experience.
You're very, very welcome. So guys, thank you for listening to the Hard Truth Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friend or family member. Go follow Jason at official Jason Watson on Instagram. Reach out to him. He's a man that not only has had success, but he understands what real success is, and that is making an impact in other people's lives. Thank you guys for joining us. Good day.